The Acolyte not getting renewed for season 2, or they said nothing renewed yet. That hasn't happened. So what's that mean? Is that standard? Well, we'll discuss that. Twisters kicking ace in the box office has done significantly better than people thought it would. So much more. Deadpool and Wolverine coming out this weekend. I'm going to see it tonight, but all that and more on today's show. It is the big thing. Let's get to it, everybody. Live. Here we go. What's up, everybody? Welcome back. It's the big thing. It's me, Kristian Harloff. I hope you guys are doing good here today on this Monday. So here's what we're going to do. Because I've tried this before, this program through StreamYard. And what I'm going to do now is I'm going to try to bring in John Rocha. And there he is. Now, here's a question. Can you hold on a second? Hold it, John. Can you hold on a second? Can you guys hear John? I'm trying to see if they can hear you. So they'll tell you in a second if they can hear you or not. And if that's the case, so they can't hear him. All right. So again, they can't do it. So hold on a second, John. I sent you that StreamYard. Why don't you join through StreamYard again if you can? All right. John's going to join through StreamYard. And he'll be in just a second. So do you have sound? You guys should have sound on me. So hold on a second. And here we go. So we are just going to be waiting for. I don't know why it is. For some reason, this program can't pick up his sound, and I don't understand what it is. But you guys should be able to hear my sound for sure. And John's coming in a moment, and we'll just do it that way. And here he is. So John Rocha is here. You'll be here. I don't know what it is. It's so weird for some reason. This program, I don't know why, but like it won't do it, which sucks because it's such a good setup. So there's audio on me and not on you. I got to figure out what it is, and I want to see also if it's you or if it's other people too. I haven't actually tried it. I've only tried it with you. So
okay.
How's it going, man?
Good, man. How are you? How's your things?
Good. Just trying to get everything set up. The studio's finally in pretty good working capacity. Cool. So
anything big happened this week?
I don't know. And I was at the pool club when I heard it. I was at a pool club. How about that? So for some reason they said your audio is low. I don't know why.
I'll turn it up. That's fine.
Maybe we'll turn that up.
Better.
Should be. Okay. So we have tons of stuff to talk about, man. And and I think that the first thing that we'll just kind of get into immediately, and by the way, if people are brand new to the channel, you've never been here before, subscribe to the channel, trying to get to 200,000 subscribers. We're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, we're everywhere podcasts are found. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring up this story here about the Acolyte.
Yeah.
Because, I don't know if you've heard this or not, John, but the Acolyte. So what they said is that there's no word on the Acolyte renewal, is what this article on Dark Horizon says.
Okay.
And it's essentially, with Star Wars, the Acolyte having wrapped in the show, it does not yet have a renewal order. Now, that's not unusual, as Disney is likely taking its time to see the full season's numbers before making a decision. Yeah. Lucasfilm didn't officially renew last year's Ahsoka series until several months after it aired, so it's not unusual. Now, speaking with EW this weekend, Leslie Headland was asked if she had heard anything in terms of second season being greenlit. She said nothing and proceeded to make a zero sign with her hands. She added that she doesn't mind if she's still decompressing from launching the first season. She said, you'll have to take a break, especially after something like this. I don't even know how many years my brain has been going. Star Wars, Acolyte, just constantly solving problems, constantly thinking about it. It's very weird to now be in a place where I don't need to do that. I always say to budding writers, the most important thing that you can do is sit around and do nothing, because the second you start to manufacture a story, you're going to get stressed out and the story can't start that way. And one thing she will tease is that the second season will likely see more of the Republic Senate after David Harwood's skeptical Senator Ravencourt playing a key part in the finale, to which the interviewer then said, why wasn't that the whole show? No, he didn't. A generation or two generations have gone by since the Nihil. There was a lot of drama. So It was just logical to me that there would be more of this button down idea, trying to avoid the mistake. Let's limit the power. Let's do that before someone asks us to. And it was just logical to me to show Venestra as the bridge for that. The finale also revealed the connection between Venestra and Chimera, and Headland says that they're going to continue. We'll see more of Vern's history with the Stranger and how that's affecting the decisions she's making now. Yeah, John, you and I haven't really discussed this show since the finale. I mean, again, I don't want to sound like a hater here because I just didn't like the show, but like I want the show to go away. I don't ever want to see a season 2 of this show. Who wants to see a season 2 of this show except like maybe 25%?
Yeah, I think it's all like what they were talking about, the numbers. Like they got to take a look at the numbers because, right, it's a supply and demand situation always in entertainment. No matter what anyone tries to tell you about art and all that stuff, fine, but it's always supply and demand. Is there enough of a demand? Did the views go up? Did the finale nail it for people to be excited about it? And I would argue that a majority of it was not, did not accomplish what it was supposed to accomplish in order to get people excited for a season 2. Remember the end of season 1 of The Mandalorian? People were pumped. Desperate.
Everybody was talking about it. No, like outside of the geekdom kind of fandom, no one's talking about it. And look at this. This is something I pulled the other day.
Yeah.
This was the top 10 streaming that came out after the finale. Bridgerton, Your Honor, The Boys, House of the Dragon, Bluey, Grey's Anatomy, Criminal Minds, NCIS, Family Guy, Bob Burgers, the finale of Acolyte, nowhere to be found.
Yeah.
Nowhere to be found in the top 10.
That's hard. And Your Honor is like an old show. Like that was back on.
It pushed back into Netflix and now it's coming out right. But and now people are finding it again. But it's like no one. It's like this show it just didn't hit, and it's like for $180 million, you're going to make a season 2. I don't now. Normally, I think the article is correct that just because you don't have a renewal right away doesn't mean that you're not getting a season 2.
Right.
But if it was this big, major, massive hit, a lot of times they go, "Yeah, we want this show. We want it back." And there's doing a season 2. We're excited. The Ahsoka one was different because it was a matter of planning out when the next movie was coming out or what Filoni was doing, and it was more than that. I think this is a sign that this show is not coming back.
I think so too, 100%. And this is all brand saving. You know what Leslie's saying in these interviews, it's all brand saving. Because if they gave her a second, she'd be like, "Yes, I'm already on it. I'm already like, let's go. I've written a bunch of episodes." Yes, she's got storylines that she's mapped out, but I think people overall, from what I sense and what I see, and I don't mean just in the dark, I don't mean the dark corners of anger. I mean like legitimate people who looked at this and analyzed it, you and I, other people that I know and respect whose opinion, it just didn't hit. It just was a mishmash of unrealized potential. And there were some interesting things, but the execution just wasn't strong enough. And that finale felt like it landed like a thud for a lot of people of what it led to. And then the teasing of all of this stuff and the unresolved storylines, it felt like they just kind of yanked you along and purposely kept things in the dark, and not in a way that's artistic or organic or feels interesting. It's more a matter of like convenience. And fans can sense that, or sorry, viewers can sense that, irrelevant of fans. Viewers can sense that. And that was, at the end of the day, I think this was just a kind of a Frankenstein-esque type of show. And because too many cooks were in the kitchen. And in the end, it didn't satisfy anybody overall, or didn't satisfy enough people overall for it to warrant a second season. And if they announced a second season, I feel like that would be stubborn of them. Like, we're going to make you like this. And I think that's not what you want to do right now with the way the Star Wars fandom is. So precariously perched on the edge here. When you've got all these movies that you want people to go see, and you've got a skeleton crew, which, from what I'm hearing, is
not good,
not testing the best.
Oh, come on.
I'm not saying that officially. I'm saying that officially. I'm just saying that from what I've heard from the sources that I know, that Skeleton Crew is possibly not testing the best.
Well, I'll tell you what, when it comes to box office, I'm not listening to a word you say, but when it comes to stories and those things,
you shouldn't, should you?
And when it comes to stories, I'm going to listen to you because you're the one. Look, last week, and I said it. I said there's no chance the Russo brothers will come back, and you go, I don't know. I don't know. You knew something, by the way.
Yeah.
You knew something.
About the Russos?
Yeah, you knew something.
I mean,
don't lie to me. You're full of it.
It just seemed logical. It just seemed logical.
You were full of it. You heard something, and that's fine. I've done the same thing. So it's, but either way, so you could, if you wanted to, you could have wrote me in for a bet there. You could have taken me
I
out.
don't work like that.
Yeah,
I don't like
you could have taken me out.
yeah,
But
maybe you were adamant. You were adamant the Russos were coming.
I just, well, I believe those reports. I believe those reports that they were offered and didn't want to come back, or that they wanted to and Marvel didn't want them to come back. But clearly that's not the case. But when it comes to this, though, dude,
let me restate my point a little more clearly.
Sure.
Looking at the message here, right? From what I'm hearing from a couple of my sources
about Skeleton Crew,
that people behind the scenes are concerned over Skeleton Crew, and that Star Wars may take a break from making Star Wars live action TV series for the entirety of 2025 because they have nothing in development besides Ahsoka season 2, which, from what this source is hearing, they are way behind schedule on, and no scripts have been written for Ahsoka season 2. So there may be a large amount of time before we see another Star Wars show after Andor, not Ahsoka, Andor season 2 comes out. So that's what they're saying to me. And this is the person who told me everything that was going to happen in A Quiet Place day one, a year before the film came out. And so this person has some interesting credibility.
I'm sure it's legit, and I think that it makes sense, and I think that it's more so where, look, this is also a possibility, is that they're so panicked that they can't, that everything that they do, they can't get the fan base behind them, and they're like, okay, well, maybe Skeleton Crew is good, and they're panicking because they don't think it's good, and their tastes are not great, or it's just not good, either way. But then you have that, and then Ahsoka being behind schedule makes total sense. It's the same thing. It's like this panic mode thing that they do. They go into panic mode and they put things off to the side and they don't put movies up because they don't have the right structure, the right team. They're not making the right stuff. So they continue to think, well, why isn't this working? Because it's like, this is, I don't know if we said this already on the air again, but I say it to you. And if reiterating or saying it for the first time on air, I don't know. I just have these conversations all the time. But I can't remember if they're on air or not. I just think that what should be done with Lucasfilm is them saying, okay, here's what we got to do. Let's hire for the next 5 years a strong team everybody in this 5-year team is going to map out this story from start to finish. And inside of that, we're going to map out timelines and things that we're going to do and where we want to go from this point. If it's in the if it's during the Rey era, we're making those stories to this is what's happening. And that's our design. And then if we're doing Old Republic stories, that's our design. That's where we're going to go. Let's map out, full on treatments and all that. And then once we're done with that and we have ideas, now what we need to do is let's bring in directors and say, hey, this is what we want to do. What do you think? Do you want to do that? And they go, oh, well, yeah, but can I do something completely different and then instead want to do my version and do this instead? And they're like, no, that's not what we're doing. But I want to make my version the way Ryan Johnson and Leslie Headland did theirs. No, we're not doing that. We're doing our story in the way that Marvel did in phase 1, 2, and 3. We want to hear your take, and we want your actual design on it. We want creative ideas. It's like, well, actually, when I was reading this script, and instead of that, is it possible that they can do that? Yeah, we never thought about that. That would be great. We'd love to bring you in. That's why we brought you on. And to bring these people in the way that they did for years. When I was at Warner Brothers and when I was working at Joel Silver's company, they had a script. They said, hey, so-and-so, we have this script. What would you do with it? Well, can I change it completely? No, but you can do this. We'd like to have your idea and do that and direct it and do that for Star Wars instead of saying, oh, yeah, you want to do this about this? Sure, go ahead, do that. That doesn't make any sense to what we just did there. But hell, we'll make a real statement here. And it's like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Yeah, I want to walk carefully into this minefield because I have not been on the get rid of Kathleen Kennedy bandwagon. That has never been something I believed in because you look at the numbers and the amount of money they're making and you say, financially, it has been a success. Artistically is a whole nother conversation, right? But financially, it has been a success. But now we're seeing this is like the end of Michael Bay, the Transformers, right? You could argue the first 4 films, you made $1 billion, and that 5th film came out, and that's finally where everyone's like, okay, we got to get him off. Even the people in making the movies were like, we got to get him off the movies, rather. And he's still, executive producer, or whatever. But like, I think this combo now of Kathleen and Filoni, and it's just not working overall.
Nope.
we just had somebody step down because a lot of people were sensing, hey, look at the numbers. The numbers aren't working. You got to go. And I think we're at that stage now. And again, I am not a person who is against Kathleen Kennedy or anything like that. And I am not a person, clearly you guys know me, I don't subscribe to Star Wars is too woke. Woke has nothing to do with it. It's all about execution. Look at X-Men 97. There's no woker concept in that, and it killed. And so you've got to do it right. I got no problem with you wanting to make women the lead or people of color the lead or have more of them. Of course, I'm going to champion that. But you've got to do great writing. You got to have good direction. You got to tell interesting stories. And so, look, you've got the Mandalorian, Pedro Pascal. He's a Latino. He's leading it. Yes, he's under the mask, but it's Pedro, and he's leading it. And that's great. The Mandalorian's been fantastic. Yeah, season 3, whatever your feelings are on that. And look at Andor. Andor is the greatest thing. What's it led by? Diego Luna. So, you have these things that have been led by people of color, and it's okay. It's a matter of execution. And I think the execution overall has been lacking when you look at now these TV series and the way they've come down. And if Skeleton Crew, who, by the way, is led by Jude Law, is the name above everybody else's. He's a white dude. And I know the crew is diverse, but if this comes out and it's kind of middling, then I don't know. Then you've got to reevaluate everything, And so I don't know what the pressure would have to be for them to sell Star Wars. I don't see Disney selling Star Wars. They'd have to find new people to step in at some point and take it over. And until that happens, Kristian, I think we're still going to keep seeing this over and over again.
I couldn't agree more. And I think that the problem is it needs a complete facelift. The whole thing needs a facelift. It needs it. I mean, the best scenario, which will never happen, as I've said a million times over, is that it's just sold to Apple or something. Like they sell Lucasfilm to Apple or whatever it might be. And, same thing. Like Kathleen Kennedy will be able to produce somewhere else. I don't think she's the right fit for Star Wars. Never think she was. I used to love Dave Filoni. I think he is a terrible fit for to run the whole thing. Yeah. I think he has one particular vision of what he thinks Star Wars is.
Yeah.
And it has affected it tremendously in the writing. He's a very strong storyteller. He knows the characters. He knows Star Wars lore, and he knows the essence of Star Wars like nobody else, but he's not a strong screenwriter at all. And there's a lot of different things that I think he blends in. I think he feels like he knows a little bit too much, and I think he bleeds it into other people's work, and I think it's affected it. I think that, and as you said, that combination together is not good. And I think that the Acolyte is like, and I saw someone in the comments who said it was like he's like, yeah, it wasn't terrible. It was fine. It was mid. And I'm like, but that's not what they need. But that's not what they need right now. They need in order to get back. We put a poll on the community post in this of who has the biggest future between DC, Marvel, and Star Wars. Star Wars wasn't even in the conversation. It was like 4% or something out of like thousands of votes. Not even in the conversation. And that's like, you would have never even imagined in 2015, if you put that poll out, Star Wars probably wins it in 2015 before The Force Awakens comes out, it probably wins it. So yeah, I'm with you. I do think, even though the panic button is being hit to say, like, let's not make any more shows here. Let's not do that. I think that's the right call now. Until they figure out what the hell they're doing and stop wasting money and stop doing it, because they're not going to do it. Like, the stupidest thing in the world, John, is I've said it until anybody watching this show right now, here he goes again, and it's fine. I'll reiterate it again. They have these books. They have tons of books written by wonderful authors that they could get screenwriters in to adapt it, and you've got 6-episode series. You've got movies that you could make out of them. I mean, instead of this ridiculous Darth Plagueis peeking around the cave like a weirdo, in a schoolyard, instead he could wind up doing that novel that they could have done. They could have adapted that into 6 parts, and they could have introduced new elements to it to get more of a protagonist from a Jedi in there, because there's some in there, and you could have told that story instead of whatever the hell this thing was.
Yeah, and I think this is what you bring up that I think is very on point, is that you have to have people who are in charge who understand how to accept that there are different ways to tell stories, different visions, different versions of Star Wars that can exist. I like Star Wars visions as a fun kind of Elseworlds type of thing. That's cool. I like it. It's interesting. The books are fantastic as well. There's a lot of canon in there. It's interesting to explore the High Republic stuff. A lot of people loving those books. There are many different ways to do it. But when you go to the on-screen stuff, you've got to be open. This resistance to the Andor style of storytelling is such a mistake, because you've got, I mean, this is where we're going as a society. It doesn't mean you can't have that series that comes in that is so, like, oh yes, bring back the magic and the pew pew and all of that. I think that's great. But the public's taste is for the darker, heavier stuff. And that's where they need to go with this Star Wars brand, in my opinion, if they want to keep it going. I think that's what happened here with Acolyte. From what I hear, the Filoni was involved with all this stuff and tried to make it more teeny, tried to make it more of that CW young adult type approach to Star Wars. And I think in the end, you got a mishmash of styles that didn't really work, when I feel like Leslie was trying to tell a much darker story. Still could have had the young element, of course, when you cast someone like Amanda Stenberg, but it was missing it. And look, you and I, we're Yankees fans. The Star Wars is the Yankees, not the Red Sox and not these other teams that occasionally bubble up. They're the Yankees. A mid-season of the Yankees is not acceptable to the fans.
Right.
Our goal is to win the World Series every mother effing year.
Yep.
And we have the money to bring in talent to get us there. There is no excuse. Disney has the money to bring in the talent
easily, but the problem is, I think that what they're doing, I think that they think they're making these quality things, and like, did you see the trailer for Dune, the new Dune? I mean, like that, like the TV show.
Yeah, the
TV show looks like it's part of that universe. I saw it. I'm like, okay, I feel like it's part of Dune without even seeing an episode of it. Like I'm watching House of the Dragon, and I'm like, okay, it's detailed. I understand that no matter what.
Yeah.
Like I understood that that even though it's years before any of the stuff I saw in Game of Thrones, it's part of the universe. Like I get it. I know it. I don't ever say like, oh, this doesn't feel like this is something completely. I don't feel like this. This is like CW.
Yeah.
And it's like they don't have like a clear-cut vision of it. And it's because they need someone who's running the shop that says, no. We want to kind of make it feel more like, and if you want to make it feel like the prequels, then make it feel the whole thing feel like the prequels. If you want to make it feel like the original trilogy, then everything should feel like the original trilogy. It should all fit in. Stop shying away from the music because, we can't have the John Williams theme. We're making our own Star Wars here. No, it's Star Wars. In the same way that when I'm watching House of the Dragon, the Game of Thrones theme plays during the intro because it's Game of Thrones. Yeah. And it's like they come up with this ridiculous stuff to do it. But anyway, it's whether it comes back or not, it doesn't seem like it will, and we're both on the same page that it shouldn't.
Yeah, and I want to address a comment here. Wish Dragon Prop says, I don't know where Rocha keeps getting this idea about Filoni from. I get it from one of the writers who spoke out loud about Filoni saying that he contributed to all the scripts and had notes on all the scripts, and then that writer had to take down their social media because they were getting bombarded by fans and people asking questions. And then you ask, what's the other part of this? Hedlund has come out and straight talked about all her ideas in interviews. Yes, she has, but she's also a part of the Star Wars machine. So this idea that you guys go like zombies walking in to believe whatever they believe, no, you have to understand these are people who are brand saving. They have to work around certain things. They have to say certain things. There's a contract that's involved. There's certain things they can reveal and cannot reveal. There's all kinds of stuff that goes on behind the scenes. Stop looking at this like a Pollyanna and that everybody's pure and no. People this is a job, and people want to keep their jobs. People want to keep working at their jobs, and you're not going to go and crap on Star Wars and think that another franchise is going to give you a shot. That's not how it works. So I think Leslie played the political game really well because she's a smart woman and she wants to keep working. She's not going to out Filoni.
But John, it also makes sense when you think about it. Like the people forget that when Filoni was announced as the head of creative, it was like 8 months or a year after he already had the position is when it publicly came out. So of course he was given notes on it because that's the job you're supposed to do anyway at that 100%. Point. You're supposed to do it. So it's like that's where it says like they put him in charge of it, and he has a clear-cut idea of what he thinks Star Wars is from being trained by George Lucas. Yeah. And I think he plays in that faster, more intense thing. And it drives me crazy. It drives me crazy. And so I think that it's going to be one of these things where they're not going to reorganize for quite a while, and season 2 won't come out. Ahsoka will, and it's also not a coincidence that Dave Filoni's show is the show that gets a second season, even though people weren't raving about Ahsoka.
Right.
He's got pull over there. So either way, guys, what do you think, man? Season 2, of the Acolyte, is it something that should get a season and season 2? You know, do you want to see it? That's the bigger question. I think that should be the main question. Do you want to see it? Because like, oh, you know, these other shows got one, why shouldn't it? But do you want to see it? Do you really care? I'm with John and the fact that they just kind of threw these ideas into the finale to try to get you to watch season 2. And it's like, that's all they did. They didn't set any of that stuff up. They just said, well, we want you to watch season 2. And if you do want to see this stuff, Plagueis, Yoda, watch. And you're like, no, you haven't earned that. Anyway. All right. It's a bummer, but hopefully, I mean, it reminds me, dude, like you said with the Yankees, it just reminds me, you know, from before like 96, it was 95. They were in the playoffs within the 95 year, and 94, the freaking whole season went under. And it was they were in first place by a mile, and then it shut down. Well, they need to be in first place. I want to see Star Wars get back in the first place.
I agree.
Okay. Now listen, before we move on, I am pretty excited to talk to you guys each and every week. I tell you guys about our great sponsors that we have, and it helps the show out tremendously. And I'm going to tell you a little bit about our friends over at AG1. And I love AG1. You guys know how many times have you heard me talk about AG1? And the reason why, you're like, wow, I'm talking about AG1 for a long time. Yeah, they're great. And they've been around for so long. And I've told you forever, as a busy person, what I do is I drink AG1 in the morning, you know, whether I'm making breakfast and making my coffee. I feel unstoppable. I really feel good once I have that energy to be able to push forward and do what I need to do. And I cover my nutritional basis. It's awesome. So if you guys, for gut support, it's a key factor in immune system. And if you didn't know that 70% of your immune system, it lives in your gut. So in a research study, AG1 was shown to double the amount of healthy bacteria in your gut. And gut diversity is important in supporting the health of the gut. AG1 contains a wide range of vitamins, minerals, and superfood sourced ingredients. And if there's one product that I trust to support my whole body health, it's AG1. So you know that I've partnered with them, and I've been partnered with them for so long. It's easy and it's satisfying to start your journey with AG1. Try AG1 and get a free 1-year supply of vitamin D3, K2, and 5 free AG1 travel packs with your first purchase at drinkag1.com/bigthing. That's drinkag1.com/bigthing. Go ahead and check it out. I also want to tell you about Magic Spoon. You guys know how much I love Magic Spoon. My daughter this morning, she's like, I want to try Magic Spoon. And I didn't tell her no, because, you know, it's an adult cereal and you can't do that. I said, it's mine. Get out of here. You have yours. As a kid, I loved eating cereal. But as an adult, I don't want all that sugar, and most cereals don't give me the protein I need. But with Magic Spoon, it is a nostalgically delicious cereal, and it tastes just like my childhood favorites, but it doesn't have that sugar. And it's got a ton of protein, which is awesome. If you guys are already Magic Spoon fans, I saw somebody in the chat today said they just wound up getting it. I got big news for you. Magic Spoon has turned their super popular cereal into high-protein treats. They're light, crispy, and taste just like the classic crunchy cereal bars. Magic Spoon's brand new treats are so delicious, and they've already become a favorite right before the gym, where you're going to go, like right before work. It's amazing. Every serving of Magic Spoon cereal has 13 grams of protein, 0 grams of sugar, and 4 grams of net carbs, so you can feel good about what you're eating. The most popular flavors are fruity and cocoa, and there's so many more. I like to mix the cocoa and the peanut butter. And the Magic Spoon's brand new treats, crispy, crunchy, airy, and they're easy way to get 11 grams of protein on the go. For the first time ever, Magic Spoon treats are available in grocery stores with delicious flavors like marshmallow and chocolatey peanut butter. Ah, love that so much. Yum. So get $5 off your next order at magicspoon.com/bigthing, or you can look for Magic Spoon in your nearest grocery store. That's magicspoon.com/bigthing. $5 off. Magic Spoon. Hold on to the dream. Did you wind up getting those Magic Spoon, John?
I did. I got the berry one.
Oh, okay.
That they have at Costco. Okay. So I had to go to Costco, and I got no problem saying that. And I tried it out. That's good stuff. It is good. I like cereal, so like it's nice to kind of throw that in the mix for morning breakfast every once in a while. So
it's good. But you know what it is, dude? For me, what I do is, because I try not to snack at night, but if I do, I want you just supposed to have like protein. So I have that.
Yeah,
they do. It's amazing.
I put some soy milk in it because I'm a soy boy.
Yeah, I do almond milk. They do almond milk. So, all right. Oh, I got you. I got that. I got. That was good. That was good. Oh, you know, the other thing that we were talking about, we talk about all the time on Mondays, man, is box office.
Yeah.
You and I talk box office all of the damn time, and man, Twisters delivered and then some, huh? What are you bragging?
That's me swinging around a Twister. I'm
Oh.
excited for them doing well for Glenn Powell and Daisy Edgar Jones, man. That's a good thing.
What'd you think about the movie?
Huge numbers. I didn't get to see the movie.
Really?
I had plans yesterday. Let me tell you something. I had plans yesterday for Cobra Kai season 6. I was going to spend the first day, part of the day watching that, and then I was going to see a 4:00 showing of Twisters. But what happened? Something big happened yesterday, and I went live for 2 hours. That was the end of my day, because then I had to watch House of the Dragon, do my reaction video, which is going to be up tomorrow, and the review we're going to come later. So I couldn't get a chance to see it, but I am going today, and I'm going to see Cobra Kai today. Well, maybe Cobra Kai tomorrow, because we got Deadpool and Wolverine tonight. So I want to see Twisters today, though. I hear good things, though.
I like Twisters. I like Twisters. I thought it was a really fun summer movie, and I said, this movie's gonna do well. This movie is gonna do well, and boy, did it ever! Because it was just tracking to do. When we look at we talked about it on the show the other day.
Yeah.
And we were talking about it when Roxy was on it, and what it was tracking at, it was tracking like, it was like 55 million or something domestically is what it was tracking for.
Yeah.
And so it was like, okay, maybe it'll get close to, I think it was like 80 or 90 million for the week or a weekend or for globally, and went up being a big, huge hit. Yeah. Twisters is blowing a gale at the box office, and domestically has beaten all expectations to deliver an 80.5 opening weekend, in the third biggest of the year between Inside Out and Dune Part 2. Internationally, it's doing strong, but it is more of an F3 and an F5, with the film taking in 27.1 from 76 territories. Having opened last week in some countries, the film has now done 123.2 million worldwide to date. I think it was like scheduled to do like 90 to 100, and it did 123. The film's biggest markets outside the U.S. have been the UK with 5.5, Mexico 2.5, Australia 2, and France at 1.9. Where it didn't fare well was China. It made only 1.5 million in China. The film reportedly came in on a budget of 155. It's pretty expensive, I think, for that movie, but still. That doesn't include the marketing and P&A spend, not including the many millions in global marketing efforts. Universal has the film domestically, and Warner's is handling the overseas release. Universal and Illumination's Despicable Me 4, meanwhile, has generated 574 million globally so far, with the film taking a further 23.8 million domestically and 52 million internationally. Pixar's Inside Out still in cinemas and pulled another 12.8. That's crazy. And 34.2 million overseas, bringing its domestic total to 596 so far. It's worldwide right now, John, at 1.44 billion.
Wow.
Yeah. Rounding out the top 5 were Long Legs with 11.7 and A Quiet Place Day One with 6.1. So obviously I would tell you, John, I think that for you, the big standout would be what? Would be Twisters, right? Overperforming?
Yeah. Overperform. I joked that they could make $1 billion, but in no way did I think that it was going to do as well as it did right off the bat. And it overperformed by like 20 million or something like that. It's a massive thing. So all these people who are signaling the death of the box office, what do you say now? Like, it's the thing that you look at here. This stuff is so unpredictable. It's so organic. You have no idea what's going to connect. Daisy Edgar Jones has never led a multi-million-dollar making film. And Glenn Powell just recently did that with Anyone But You, and of course was part of the ensemble for Top Gun Maverick. So this is another like feather in Glenn Powell's cap. This is a positive reaction from the fans who want summer movies like this in the summer. And so I'm happy to see it. And a majority of the reviews have been positive. So
well, I think the other side of that is what you said before when we were talking about, Star Wars, is that it's not just that people want to go to the movies. They want to watch stuff and they want to like it. And they want to have fun with it. And they want to like this. The movie to me was, because I thought that the first movie, people love the first Twister, like love it. Right.
Yeah, they worship that.
It's a fun summer movie. My wife loves that movie, and it's fine. And I'm like, I don't know if I really need to see a sequel. It's not really even a sequel, to be honest. It just has tornadoes in it, just like the other one. It's not a sequel. But they use the name, they use the IP. They don't try to pretend that it's a direct sequel. They don't try to it's not false advertising. It's just like, these are people who are doing the same thing, and design it around Daisy Edgar Jones, who I was not very familiar with. I think she's fantastic.
Yeah,
Yeah, she's great. And it's like it's just a nice summer old school kind of movie.
Yeah.
I enjoyed watching it. It wasn't cheesy, which I thought it was going to be, and it could have been. I think the last 5 minutes were cheesy, and that's what I thought the film was going to be for the whole time.
Yeah.
And I went up digging it, and I was like, okay, yeah, I can understand why a movie like that would do well, because it's one of those things where you go, because it does use the old IP, but then you go and you say, you know what I saw? What I heard, someone say that the Twisters was pretty good. I literally heard someone say that yesterday when I was sitting around lists. I overheard someone's conversation. They're like, oh, Twisters. Someone said it was really good. And this is the one thing I will tell you about where I live now, what I actually love about it is that because when you're living in LA, you hear conversations about movies all the time, and it's usually everybody in the business and they're all in the bubble.
Yes.
Here I am. This is the average person going to movies who don't know about these things. So when I hear these conversations, I'm like, oh, they're talking about this. It is in the zeitgeist of just other people, normal people talking.
Yeah.
And that was very interesting to see the conversation revolving around this film.
Yeah. I'm happy to see it happening. And I hope Hollywood takes the right lessons from it, though. Number one, with all of this, and realizes, hey, there's let's not take it too seriously. Let's have some fun, and let's cast up and coming actors that are going to make their bones on a film like this, and get people excited about it. And it appeals, like Top Gun Maverick. To be honest, it appeals across the board.
Yeah,
it's not just like it's not a left film or a right film. It's a film that people can understand and relate. Tornadoes have no political party, so it's just a matter of they attack, and so you've got to stop them. And you add in some human element to Daisy Edgar Jones's story, her character, that keeps you attached to it to see if she's going to get some kind of closure with it. So yeah, just smart all around.
Smart all around. All right, moving on to the next subject here, and that is Jurassic World. Man, looks like we're getting a new title, perhaps.
Oh,
the currently in production next Jurassic World film looks to be called Jurassic World Rebirth, according to World of Real. Amblin Entertainment has reportedly filed several new trademarks under that title, including multimedia products, physical merchandise products, clothing, soaps, and beauty products, toys and action figures, food products, and more. The title fits with this semi-reboot of the franchise, which takes place after the events of Dominion and revolves around new characters, locations, and dinosaurs. Gareth Edwards directs the film from a script by original Jurassic Park scribe David Koepp. The stacked cast: Scarlett Johansson, Mahershala Ali, Rupert Friend, Jonathan Bailey, David Acciano, Luna Blaze, and Manuel Garcia Rulfo. A month-long shoot took place in Thailand starting mid-June. Production has now moved to Malta for at least 2 months before heading to the UK for another month. The project aims to wrap mid-October. Frank Marshall, Patrick Crowley produced the film, which is set for July 2nd, 2025 release. I am going to say something here that I know you are not going to echo.
Okay.
I'm actually excited for this film.
You are?
I am. Do you know why I'm excited for this film?
Please.
Because it has the opportunity to do what I was always hoping they were going to do with Terminator.
Okay.
The movie's going to be big, obviously, to Jurassic Park movie as far as budget goes. It's going to be a big movie.
Yes.
But they have an opportunity to scale it and make it not just cotton candy. They can actually put some depth into this thing. And by bringing Gareth Edwards on board with this and looking at the tone as we're again bringing into the conversation we had to start this show, instead of doing this fluff Star Wars stuff and we want them to do kind of like a Dune or a Game of Thrones thing, that's ultimately what should happen with any of these tired franchises that have just been beaten to death.
Yeah.
And yes, you can make the argument that the difference with Jurassic World is these things keep making $1 billion.
Yeah.
But you keep the validity of the franchise alive if you make them good. And if you can say this is the best one since the first one, who doesn't want that? Who doesn't want that? And I think with this cast, and it's not they're all very talented.
Yeah.
But they're not, $10-15 million actors that they're going to blow their budget on the acting. They have Scarlett Johansson, who's like the big franchise actor, and Mahershala Ali, another very talented actor. But then the rest are just really capable actors. And that let the dinosaurs be the stars of the movie. Yeah. So that's why I have hope. Maybe I'm an idiot, but I'm actually excited for this one.
Yeah, I mean the title is a little on the nose.
Yeah.
But whatever, it fits. Rebirth has multiple meanings,
Yep.
so you can make it work. But yeah, I hear you. I think I'm with you in that. I'm willing to give it a chance. I just have been burnt by so many of these,
Yep.
but you just never know if this is the right combo. And then we're gonna get another fun Jurassic Park movie because I don't like to hate the Jurassic World movies, but I just don't like them at all. They don't entertain me. And there is someone who's balancing me in the universe who hates the Transformers movies from Michael Bay, but loves these movies, even though, in my opinion, they're both equal in terms of ridiculousness and stupidity and quality. It's just that for some people, those Jurassic World movies speak their language. For me, these Transformers Michael Bay movies speak my language for fun. But like this, I hope this one recaptures the fun and the magic of it all, but also brings some of the slight darkness that's always on the edges of these Jurassic World movies about people who want to create this kind of stuff, about how the science out of control, how man cannot control science and thinks that they, in their arrogance, that they can. So, and what is going to be Scarlett Johansson's role in all this? Is she a scientist? Is she someone who is kind of brought upon like Bryce Dallas Howard was, yanked into the situation, who had no idea of what was going to happen? And so I'm very curious, so I think it's going to be interesting to see. And I was a big fan of the creator in terms of the film itself. The direction of it and the look of it was incredible, but the overall film and the story didn't quite hit me. So I'm hoping this is Gareth like bringing the better parts of his nature, because I liked his Godzilla into this particular film.
Yeah, I really did like the creator, but I think that we're both in agreement that the thing with the creator, what he did very well was that he was able to use a budget of whatever it was, 90 million, $80 million to make it look like a $200 million movie.
Yeah.
Like that is what was the really exciting thing for me, and why I think that if he has, a little bit more than that to make this, what's he gonna be able to do? He's not. I do like when directors are limited, though. I like when they're limited on budget, because it means you gotta push them a little bit more. And I think that that's what happened with him, and that's why I really dug that film. But who knows? But all right, we got one more story before we jump into your questions.
Okay.
And we have a good story here, John. This is this Spider-Man movie, man.
Yeah.
There's more.
I got some stuff on this, but go ahead.
All right, good. All right, so maybe we're gonna actually break a freaking scoop on here for me.
I don't know. I don't know about that, but we'll see.
Right. Joe and Anthony Russo are seemingly returning to the Marvel fold for the upcoming 5th Avengers movies. Don't expect the same of John Watts. Watts directed the 3 entries in the Tom Holland-led Spider-Man trilogy, and now Kevin Feige revealed that the writers on the film are going to be delivering us a draft relatively soon, and so director will likely be sought. However, Feige was asked by CinemaBland if Watts is staying with the franchise, to which the Marvel chief said no because of Watts' schedule. He said, "We love John. John did 3 of the best Spider-Man films ever for us. He's got lots of things going on, so we'll probably be looking for somebody else just because he's busy." And Watts has 2 major projects already shot and due out this year: the George Clooney and Brad Pitt-led crime comedy film Wolves, and the new Star Wars TV series Skeleton Crew. All right, John, you say you got some. What you got?
So it's, from what I'm hearing from my source, they are telling me that they are going to announce Spider-Man 4 at Comic-Con.
Makes sense.
And which, of course, is not a big, but that they tell me that Justin Lin has been banging on the door to direct this new Spider-Man movie, and that Marvel is hesitant to go with him, considering the stuff that's happened in the past with the other. So I think this is an interesting decision to have Justin Lin possibly in the mix, but I also understand why Marvel might hesitate. But the fact that he's even remotely possibly in consideration tells me that it sounds like they want to go slightly more actiony than we've seen in previous Spider-Man films. So what are your thoughts on that?
I don't like it. I like Justin Lin, but not for Spider-Man. I think it goes back to the same conversation we just had about Jurassic World. I think that for me, even though Spider-Man is still kicking ass as far as box office goes, the silly report where I believe it's true that Sony wanted to do this big action multiverse movie, and then Marvel is like, no, we want to do a more grounded street level Spider-Man to kind of let it play into what we're doing with Daredevil and everything else too. That's the route I'd like to see. I'd like to see a little more detailed. You just left us with the fact that this guy lost his, everybody doesn't know who he is anymore, and he's got to figure his way out. He's in the city trying to figure out how to be Peter Parker, how to be Spider-Man. And it's that class. We haven't seen Tom Holland get to do that yet. We saw Garfield do it. We saw Maguire do it. We never saw Holland do it. He was just thrown into the multiverse. He's thrown into the Avengers right away. And like, let's see that story. So I don't know if Justin Lin's the guy to do that, if they're even going to do that. And if they bring him on, it means they're probably not going to do that.
Yeah.
And so that's why I'd be like, yeah, I don't think so. I'd like to see somebody else do that. Somebody else is really going to tear into the story and character. That's what I think that all of these movies should start doing more of. I know that it's spectacle. I understand that it's spectacle, but I think that if you dive deeper into character and really hone in on the story and try to make, because people will go, you're trying to make Oscar movies with comic book movies, but it's like, look at The Dark Knight, look at these movies that have done this. Every movie, in the same way that when stand-up comedians do rooms, like when you go up, oh, well, what do I care? There's only 10 people in the room. I'm not going to do my best. What are you talking about? You should be pretending that you should be performing as if there's 10,000 people in that room. Yeah. And it's the same way that you make a movie, that you should make a movie, not just, oh, well, we'll get them to eat popcorn and spend money. No, aim for the Oscar. Go for it. But every movie you do, if it's the freaking Smurfs, go for it. Go for it. And that's what a lot of Hollywood just doesn't do that, because they just want to, we're just here to make money. Yeah. And it's a business, of course. Yeah, but you can do both. And I hope that that's what they do with the Spider-Man.
Yeah, because it's the most popular, you could arguably say it's the most popular Marvel character.
Yeah.
So if there's any character
in the conversation,
you could take a chance to make a film that could be in consideration for a Best Picture or an Oscar down the road, why not Spider-Man? Why not? There's so much angst in Spider-Man. His connection with Uncle Ben, Aunt May now, with the situation with Aunt May, rather, and the way they changed it for this particular version of Spider-Man, the fact that MJ doesn't know him now, all the stuff that ended Homecoming, there's a lot of emotional territory that you can explore with him if you wanted to go the more artistic route with that Spider-Man. So I'd be curious,
Very curious.
Yeah, but on IMDb, it's Justin Lin somebody has added that
he's directing it, right?
Pre-production for an untitled Spider-Man sequel as the director.
Okay. What do you guys think?
That's true.
I'm very curious to hear what everybody thinks about it. We are going to get to your question. I just see some D. Murdoch said, I disagree. It's not Filoni. It's Pablo. Are you talking about Pablo Hidalgo? No,
please.
No, Pablo Hidalgo is not making the calls over it. I mean, he's still part of the creative team.
People worship that cowboy hat. My God. Yeah.
But he's not. But Pablo Hidalgo is not. He's not. He was part of the team. He doesn't even make as many statements as he used to. He's still part of the when it comes to canon and all that stuff. But he's not involved in the films and TV. What are you talking about? At least that's what I think you're saying. Anyway, all right. We have a lot of questions that came in here today, so we're going to get to all of them. And thank you so much. And the way again that it works for everybody, if you're brand new to the channel. Here, what we do is that we go through all the top news stories, and at the end of it, we take all of your questions. You guys have been putting them in there before we went on the air, so thank you for that. And you can keep putting them in there. We'll be here until the last one is read. So we'll get to all of them. Before we even do that, I thank John for being on the show. And John, you got a lot going on this week, man. Yeah. What can they find on the channel?
Yeah, you can always find me at the Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. But my YouTube channel, youtube.com/John Rocha Says. We just did, we recorded our review for House of the Dragon, last night's episode. That'll be up at noon here on the channel as well. And then, of course, I've got, like Kristian, Deadpool and Wolverine tonight. So my out of theater reaction will be up tonight. My non-spoiler review tomorrow, spoiler review later on. Plus, we'll have some Geek Buddies Comic-Con stuff. The boys are coming down to go and visit that stuff. So you'll see it. Hot Mic will be on Wednesday. Jedi Way's taking a little bit of a break now that Acolyte is done, but we got a lot of stuff coming on. And my new show, Spill the Tequila, with me, Winston A. Marshall. Our new episode dropped on Friday, where we have a fun approach to all the topics that are going in pop culture, not just films and TV, but across pop culture. And my other new show that I'll be launching soon is called Rocha's Reviews and Rumors. And some of the stuff that I teased today are the kinds of rumors that you will hear on the show that might be true, might come true, but who knows, might not come true. but they're rumors I'm getting from sources. So I thought I'd put them all in one place to have fun with that. So that's all happening on my channel. And thank you, Kristian, for having me.
Of course. All right, let's get to
do it.
these questions. You mentioned as far as Deadpool goes, yeah, I'm going to see it tonight. I'll tell you, I absolutely love going to see movies in the city. I really do, because even one of the things, it takes me longer now. The movie theater that was by my house in LA was like a 3 or 4 minute drive. Now it takes me about, from leaving here to go there, about 45 minutes to an hour to go see the movie, right?
Yeah.
But I'm on a train and I'm listening to music and I'm doing my emails and I'm relaxed. I'm not screaming in Burbank, get out of the way, as I'm driving from here to Burbank. And like the freaking, if I had to do those Burbank screenings, dude, like my
God, worst.
The worst. And so that is one thing. But what I'll tell you that I don't like is this is the second movie that this thing's starting at like 8:30 tonight for me, and I'm gonna be home until God knows when. So, and I think that because they're doing the premiere at the same time, so whatevs. All right, here we go. Let's start with this first one. Johnny Venerable, following the reception of The Acolyte, do you think that they opt to cancel the Ray film? I argue those sequel films did well largely because of the legacy characters. I think that the legacy characters definitely, added into it for sure to get people into the theater. But I think that Ray and the rest of them, they established themselves as characters, and those movies made $1 billion. I do not think that movie gets canceled. I think that there's a chance that the director might get replaced, depending on how it pans out, depending on how it shakes out, I should say. But I think that movie will take place. I feel like right now, John, maybe you've heard something. I feel like it's going to be, the first movie will be the Favreau movie. I think that they're going to move the Ray movie. I think they're going to have the Filoni movie come out first, unless it's just too close to Ahsoka. But no, they're not going to cancel the Ray movie.
Yeah, I don't think they're going to cancel the Ray movie at this point. I think Kathleen Kennedy is invested in having a successful TV show or movie that is female led. And I think with the Ray situation, that's what she's trying to do here with this movie. So I don't think it's going to be canceled anytime soon. And you can't argue the sequel trilogy because Kylo is a part of that. And I would say it wasn't the legacy characters, it was the Kylo and Ray relationship. That's what really drove. Yes, the older fans were coming back to see the legacy characters, but you could argue they kind of fumbled the ball in the legacy character situation throughout those 3 movies overall. So I think it was definitely Kylo and Ray who were bringing people into the theater.
100%. Yeah. And I think that, they won't cancel. And I think they're paying her like $12 million.
Yeah, exactly.
Hank Pym, yo, what was the S-Rat's deal? Seriously, what's up with that little chode? He was not great. That character in the little stink rat in
Basil?
Yeah, he's the worst.
Oh,
stupid rat. He's the worst. Also, love to see you do a Twister review. I did one. I've been missing the full reviews. I did it. I'm going to do, when it comes, I've realized what I'm going to do now in order, so when it comes to reviews, that John and I have talked about this at length, where a lot of times you can see when an out of the theater reaction, like, if I do the review, people are going to check it out. Well, there's a new feature that I'm going to do on my phone. Basically, I'm just going to do live reviews. And I did a live review of Twisters. And it's on there. It's a 4 or 5 minute review, but it's on the channel, and you can find it there. And I'm probably going to start doing those more, and then maybe interact a little bit more with people while I'm doing them. But yeah, I did the full review of Twisters. You can go in if you want to check out like the live tab of my channel. That's where you can find it.
Yeah.
Okay. Next one here. Artem Shankermanian. Friend asked me to describe Acolyte season 1. I was like, I think it's about a Jedi being dicks and destroying a family and cool fights. Season 1 is pointless without season 2. What is the actual idea of the whole season? I completely agree. There's so many times throughout that series, you're like, what is this show? I think and then it's about twins and virgins, and then this guy's kind of a Qui-Gon. No, he's actually a putz. We still don't know why this kid took the potion. What is that? Oh yeah, and there's cool fights. I think that was an accurate description of the show.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he's 100% right on that description. So yeah. I agree.
Okay, next one. Hank Pym. The closer we get to Romulus, the tighter my shorts get. What are you guys' hype levels for that movie and thoughts on the Prometheus and Covenant? I actually think that I like Covenant more than most people.
Okay.
It's why I understand it's not a great movie, but I like the feel. I liked it better than Prometheus. I think Prometheus is a better made film.
Mhm.
I think it's a better looking film.
Yeah.
But to me, out of the two, the Covenant felt more like an Aliens film to me, and
Yeah.
obviously, and so I think that I haven't watched one trailer yet for Romulus.
Wow, really? The last one was excellent.
Well, yeah, but that's why
Oh,
I've missed the trailers when they've come out. And you know me, if I don't hit it in the
yeah,
cycle, I don't react to it.
yeah,
And I was like, okay, I missed it. I still and why I mean, know I'm going to see it, so I don't want to know anything about this movie yet. And someone was like, I said that about Deadpool. I don't want to watch any more trailers. And the trailer came out like right when I was at work, and I'm like, well, I might as well react to it and look. And people are like, oh, you said you weren't going to watch anymore. I was like, and I really wish I wouldn't have, because
yeah.
the last Deadpool, they gave a big reveal in that trailer.
Yep.
And I wish I wouldn't have. But it was for work purposes.
Yeah.
Yeah. But what do you think about Romulus?
Yeah, I'm excited.
Yeah.
I've watched every one of the trailers. This is very much has the Prey vibe to it, like it did for Predator.
Mhm.
This has the Prey vibe for Alien. And so I'm excited. I love Kaylee Spaney as an actress, Isabella Merced. I love this crew of people. And I like that it's like a mixture of the first Alien and the second Aliens. And these are thieves. These aren't like mechanical crew members. These are thieves going on a heist. So I think that's going to be an interesting approach into this story. What is it they're trying to steal, and what do they encounter? And obviously they encounter the aliens. What happens at the end of this whole situation? So, and I like Fede Alvarez and the kind of
Yeah, me
perverted
too.
approach he has to
Me too.
the horror aspect of this. And that last trailer, man, those
Don't tell me. Don't tell me.
yeah, I'm just saying,
Okay.
certain things going in mouths against their will is really unsettling. So
Mm.
this is I think it's gonna mess with people in large ways when they go see it. So I'm looking forward to it.
Simon Section. The only way I can see there being an Acolyte season 2 is if they cut the original budget in half, get Gareth Edwards to direct the episodes, and the worst comes, have Tony Gilroy on speed dial. Yeah, but that's the case, right? It's like they would have to think that something was wrong with the first season. And
Right.
I think what John was saying, I don't think that they do. I think that they think that it's everybody else's fault. I don't
Yes.
think that they think it's what they did. I think that they put together a really great story, great characters, and they stand by it. And that's it. Why do we have to cut our budget? It's let's do exactly what we did. And it was great. We love what we did, and good for them for being confident in it. But I don't think they thought that he did anything wrong.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think they very much have convinced themselves that it's the negative people of Star Wars. And look, I absolutely think those people should be called out when they just go way off the edge. But I think they think it's all that has influenced the overall narrative, and that these shows are going to be reappreciated in the long run. And I think that's the mistake they're making, right? And Kathleen has done this before. She handed Ryan Johnson a trilogy before that film came out, Last Jedi, and look how that turned out. So you just have to question the mentality or the way they're framing this. And I think it's a dangerous way to frame it, because it'll mean that we're just going to get more of this kind of approach to Star Wars, which clearly a lot of people are not vibing with or feeling anymore.
Yep. Mallory Garrett. Hello, Mallory. Manny Jacinto didn't just carry the Acolyte. He put that show on his back and he dragged it. Li Zhangje helped a bit too. Agreed. Yeah, once Manny Jacinto showed up and they started diving into his story, I went, wait a minute.
Yeah.
Is this the story? Are they going to tell this story? Wait a minute. And I found myself kind of like zoning in and listening, and like, well, I'm paying attention again. I'm like, oh, okay, what's going on? And then the momentum that they had, they just dropped it in 7 by showing us the same episode again that they showed us with episode 3.
Yep.
And then they just left him behind until he shows up, and he's not even really, they push him in the back burner a little bit in episode 8 also. I've said it once, to say it a million times over. That twin story was the worst thing that they could have ever done. That should never have been anything remotely close to that. Twin story was ridiculous and not necessary.
Yeah, agreed. Agreed.
Yeah.
100%.
Yep. Jacob Pynchon, week 2 in US. Oh, good. More pizza. Yum. The best cheese slice I've had is Joe's near Times Square. Yeah, they're a really good one. But the best pizza was deep dish from Little Italy. You had either, Joe's for sure. Joe's is great. Yeah. You had either watch Martin Lawrence at Comstory. He was high as that. You know what? There is, the deep dish is really good also. But I've been being careful, because when I would visit the city when I was living in LA, I was always on this mission of like, okay, I got to hit as many spots as I can, pizza places. I got to go back, and then I'm going to be eating the garbage again in LA. And I'm still in that mentality when I go to the city. I'm like, oh, I got to go. I'm like, no, your heart's going to explode, you moron. Don't do that. But you know what is a really good you'd be surprised, but Rose's Pizza in Penn Station, you'd be surprised.
Penn Station. No,
I know. And Barstool did a review on them also.
Oh,
I
nice.
took Merle there when I was there.
Oh, cool.
Delicious. It's like the sauce is like it's perfect. And it's like it's so tempting to get a slice every time I come out of Penn Station. I'm like, I gotta get something.
Yep.
It's really good. But there's a few different places. Joe's is great. There's a lot of great places for sure. Thank you, Jacob, for that. Very, very kind of you. Enjoy your stay, man. That's amazing. All right. So Armada in a Stephen A voice. Damon, stay off the weed. Yeah, the House of the Dragon has been another show that has just been next level.
Yeah.
And I loved that episode last night, is kind of leading into what's going down. Damon's just losing his noodle.
What the hell is this going to lead to? I got questions, man.
Yeah. Okay. Back to Armada. I don't feel like this new and final Cobra Kai season marketing rollout has been strong. Curious what you guys think. I agree with the marketing. It's not as, and I also think, look, here's the other side of it. Is that the show has been out for 6 seasons. It's hard to keep momentum going for 6 seasons, man.
It really is. Yeah.
It's hard, and they didn't even start on Netflix. Remember, they started on YouTube, and the fact that when they moved over to Netflix, it got a big old push, and now it's back, and it got, it's still getting some hype behind it. And I have gotten tons of messages like, where's your review? I'm like, I haven't gotten to it, and it's like, it's not that I don't want to see it.
Right. I
do want to see it, but it's like I don't have that same kind of I gotta watch it right now like I did beforehand. And it's nothing against the show itself. I'm sure the season is great, but I just haven't had a chance. And I'm gonna watch, and I know it's 3 parts.
Yeah,
it's 3 parts. Have you haven't watched any of it yet? You said, right?
Any of the Cobra Kai? No, not
you're gonna start watching it potentially today.
Yeah.
It's only 6 episodes for the first one. I was supposed to have Jacob Hawk on the show. The program that I was using, we had a problem connecting, and so I don't know if we're gonna connect. But
that's a shame.
I do want to see it.
Yeah.
All right, Mike Joyce, here he is. Kristian, now that you're in New York, I'm sure you've had many burgers. Would you agree that In-N-Out sucks compared to most other burger places? No, I wouldn't agree, because I like In-N-Out, and my kids. It's the one thing, if you ask them what they do miss about LA, it's always In-N-Out. The sauce is great. They have good burgers here for sure, but In-N-Out's pretty good, man. I'm never going to hear me say that it sucks. Or are you an In-N-Out person?
I like In-N-Out and Five Guys.
Yeah.
Fast food burgers, quote unquote fast food burgers.
Yeah, it's good.
Those hit the spot.
Yeah,
if you want something more high end, you got to go to other places.
True. Mike Joyce follows it up. Have you seen Hundreds of Beavers? It's like a live action Looney Tunes episode. Hilarious movie. No, who told me about that? I think it was Alonzo Duralde.
Oh, okay.
I think Alonzo Duralde told me about Hundreds of Beavers and said it was hilarious. I think it was him that told me about that movie. So you're not the first person that I've heard say it was really good. DatBoy22, with Deadpool 3 opening this week, what are your guys' most anticipated movies for the rest of the year? For me, it's probably Beetlejuice or Wild Robot. There's some, let's see if we got some of the upcoming movies that are coming out, John, for the rest of the year. What's my after Deadpool and Wolverine, what's my most anticipated? It's got to be Harold and the Purple Crayon.
Just had their premiere last week in Hollywood.
Yeah.
Come on.
I'm going to pass on that one. I would say, I don't know, out of all the movies that are coming, Beetlejuice is up there for sure.
Yeah. Yep.
Well, I'm very curious about Wolves.
Oh, yeah.
Very curious about that one. Joker, for sure. And the trailer's coming out tomorrow.
That's right.
It's the new Joker trailer. I don't care about Venom, really. What else? Gladiator 2 is high up there for me. Gladiator 2. So those are the ones that stand out to me. Anyone that I'm missing that you want to say?
I think you nailed them. For me, I would go, of course, I would throw in Transformers 1. And I kind of hope Craven is good. So I'm going to throw that out there. But Nosferatu is one that I saw that trailer again when I went to go see Quiet Place last week.
That's a good one too.
That's an excellent trailer, man. I can't wait. By the way, Quiet Place was so good. I really liked it.
Oh, you finally saw it, right?
Finally saw it. Loved it.
It was because it was a small movie that knew what it was. It was a small movie in kind of a bigger movie's budget. It was like $70-80 million. That's the kind of budget you got to spend on that. You can't spend $150 million in that movie. You spend the money that you spent on that with 2 really good talent with it, probably not super high priced, but really, really good, and a simple story.
Yeah, touching story too.
Yeah, it was. Artem, is back. Because of the Monday show, I was able to find Geek Buddies.
Yay.
Good. I love hearing that. And I have to say, that show is awesome. I hope the channel continues to grow and be successful. You deserve it, John. What a nice comment.
I'm trying, Artem. I'm trying. Thank you very much.
And listen, go over and give him as much love. And anybody who wants to give John super chats when you're over there, you should, because he's going to owe me steak dinner really, really soon. And he knows it now. He knows it.
Yeah, I can sense it. I can feel it.
Fair enough.
Because
Carl,
no negative talk, man.
No. London Calling. Saw the first episode of Cobra Kai 6, and I have to say I was a little underwhelmed. Okay, it's only the first episode, but it felt quite dry and like a panto. Well, I mean, like, yeah, it's hard to guess out the first ones, but you know, it's funny as I was watching The Bear season 3. You finished Bear, right?
Yeah.
I didn't finish it, but I'm like halfway through, and you can clearly tell that they shot with the way they shot the show, or edited anyway. They edited the show as if they knew they were going to do it all in bulk, because these are not like put out there like, okay, this was week to week, wait to see. It's like, no, keep watching, because even though this is just a particular episode of this, it's they're shot that way now.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't love that. I don't love it. All right. Mad Sinister McCall. Walton's confirmed in Deadpool 3, per my sources. Who's that? Which one?
Walton. The Waltons. He's
the Waltons. Perfect. Okay. Well, we're gonna we keep moving down the line. That was, I mean, those are the super chats that came in right before the show started.
Oh wow.
Yeah. JS Hooper. Want to hear how Rocha defends this show after insulting the fans' intelligence for weeks? The show is offensively bad, intentionally destructive. What? Wow. All right, John, here you go.
Which show is he talking about specifically?
I think he's talking about Acolyte. But
Acolyte. I didn't insult the fans' intelligence. What I said was wait until the show is over to make judgments before you've seen all the episodes to see how this all ties in. Because people were commenting about storylines and why is this character doing this? Until you see the whole story, you can't really judge the whole storyline. You can't. You can scream and cry to the heavens all you want. You cannot do it. You cannot. I'm not judging a football game after the second quarter. That doesn't make sense. You just don't know what's going to happen. So I wasn't insulting the intent. Why do you guys take it so personally? I wasn't. I was saying that you guys need to wait until the whole thing is done. Then you can make a proper assessment.
And to be fair to you, I mean, you after, I think it was after like 4 episodes, you're like, I don't know. And we'll keep watching. They got a lot to turn back. Maybe they can turn it around. And then you saw the episode and you said they didn't. And you realize it's a bad show. You're not just there. Look, there are people that are defending this, and if they and there are people who clearly like the show. But there's certain points that are made. I think this is starting to turn into a not in quality of the two of them. But so it was like, you think that one's better than that one? No. What I'm talking about as far as the same type of, the make Solo 2 thing happen.
Yeah.
It's turning into the same thing. Like if you're a responsible executive, you don't greenlight Solo 2.
No, of course not.
You get fired immediately. Well, we saw a hashtag. You're fired.
How'd that work out for Morbius when they brought it back for a second run in the theaters and nobody went to see it?
Right.
They listened to a social media campaign.
And that was a goof on them, by the way. That was a goof, that whole campaign. But so this is going to be that same thing. Like there's a pocket of people that, I want to see a second season. Why don't you make it? And like, oh look, 6 people want to see it. Darth Vader's burnt asshole.
Ew.
I didn't love the Acolyte, but I still enjoyed it enough to want a second season. Okay. Out of all the Star Wars shows, this felt like the most like a series and not just a movie chopped into episodes. Let them cook for at least one more season. I mean, I'll disagree with let them cook for one more season. They cooked with $180 million and they burnt it all to the ground. So like when you're spending $180 million and you're not getting, you spend $180 million on a show, you better at least, I mean, look at Andor. You can argue, people can go, well, Andor costs a lot of money and it didn't have the best ratings in the beginning. It didn't have the best ratings. Yeah, we got a ton of Emmy nominations. Yeah. And the most critical attention out of any series that they've done. It's got that one. Same thing with Obi-Wan. Like as crappy as that show was, it still got nominations and stuff too. And who's to say that this one won't also, but I doubt it. And for $180 million, you ain't cooking. You ain't cooking anymore. And not unless you, like someone said earlier, you can make the show for $80 million.
Someone said, Kristian's like, if a team is losing 80-0, you can judge that football game. The Bills were losing 35-3 at home to the Oilers after the second quarter, and the Oilers came back, or the Bills came back and won that game behind Frank Reich. So you can say 80-0, but I've seen teams come back from quite a huge deficit in football. So yeah, you don't know with the Acolyte, as I said.
Yeah.
But also Jay's Hooper brother, calm down, man. Get some help. Better help is something you can reach out to if you need help. You could very intense about a show.
Mark says, have you seen new Rebel Moon director
no.
cut trailer? It came out today. I haven't seen
Did it really? I haven't
it.
seen
It came out today. I haven't seen it yet.
I'll watch it.
But yeah, that's another one where I never finished the first one. But I think now I kind of going to follow what Snyder and those guys said too. I'm going to wait for the rated R version. Maybe it's better, maybe it's not. But I think I'm going to just kind of buckle up and watch both of those.
Yeah, I wish I could come up for the LA screening of both of those. But
yeah. Renee Reyes, if Acolyte gets a season 2, Plagueis should be heavily involved. Get rid of May in episode 1. Focus on Quimir and training Osha, and having Leslie Headland take her talents to Disney Channel. Well, I mean, it's like, I think that it's a matter of, I think, I don't know, man. I mean, it's to me, it's just, I feels like a sci-fi and not Battlestar Galactica is the only sci-fi channel show that I think that was like, felt like it was on Max, but it felt like a sci-fi channel show.
Yeah. People want a season 2. You're crazy if you think a season 2 is going to happen without Leslie. Like, you're just kind of crazy.
Yeah. There's no way this is going to happen without Leslie.
Right. And do you trust Leslie to do Plagueis correctly? I mean, I don't. Yeah, I can't. That doesn't make sense to me. I can't compute that. It wouldn't make sense.
No. Simon Section, I've noticed you have a new Rocky picture in the background, and judging Rocky shorts is from Rocky 3. Let's see. So, yeah, that's top there. That's him.
That is Rocky 3. That's clever.
Rocky 3. Yeah. So right before I don't know if I can do. I think I can be able to do here. I'll show you kind of what it's not done yet, but I'll show you. This is the wide shot right now. And it's like it's a little dark right now, but it's not adjusted. But this is where we'll have it. This is all the other.
Let's see. Let's slow down. Dune, George Carlin, Back to the Future, Rocky 2, Caddyshack, Mallrats, Rocky 3, Diner, Eternal Sunshine.
Oh, that's not Diner. It's Goodfellas.
Wait. Yeah, there it is. That's Goodfellas. Yes.
And there's also Braveheart up there too. But
yeah. Oh, there it is. Yeah. And pump up the volume. Nice.
And pump up the volume. So yeah, that's what it's looking like at the moment. That's what it's looking like at the moment. But yeah, my wife actually right before we started kind of put them back up there.
Great job.
Okay, let's see. Yeah, she came in here today with the little one. The little one was actually really helpful, so that was good. She's been a real monster the last couple of days. I think she was like today. She was I don't know what happened. My wife came up with some kind of plan, but she was a totally different person. Haskell 420 Twisters blew the door off the competition. Nice, well done, Ed. Well done. I am very. I mean, if it wasn't Deadpool 2, I don't know if I would have gone to another 8:30 screening tonight. That's really.
I know, dude.
Yeah.
Listen, this is the truth. I'm turning down more screenings than ever before because I'm just
tired.
I'm tired. I can watch it on Thursday
at
the comfort of my theater 2 minutes away with nobody in the theater, like 3 old people. Right. It's fantastic. So
I'm with you.
Unless it's a big film like this, I'm not going, man.
Matt Sinister McCall, Ramirez, and my serial kiss was hot and then stupid. Night barges in before it gets hotter. I hope that night gets burned next week. I was yelling at my TV. Yeah, it was like that. I did feel like that came out of nowhere. I will say
it was building up over the episode, but yeah,
it felt that felt
where it goes.
It felt a little forced, but let's see where it goes.
Yeah, exactly.
Where it goes. NLFC 96. I love Star Wars, but half the time with that, I was scratching my head with confusion with where they were going. I trust John Watts with Skeleton Crew. The poster for it looks promising. Yeah, it's the John Watts and Jude Law side of it that is getting me hopeful for it. But the problem is that when Rocha says, I'm hearing it's not that great.
I said I'm hearing
it's not testing behind the scenes. Yeah. Okay, behind the scenes, but I'm not shocked by it, and I hate that I'm not shocked by it. Right. You know what I mean? It's like remember when Marvel shows were coming out and you'd hear like, that one's not that great, and you're like, really? That doesn't happen often. With this, you're like, the probabilities is that it's probably not that great. And then, but that's got to be a thing, though. If you start to have all these people, because you look at Leslie Headland, who had a really great show in Russian Doll, right? And put things together, and you have all these different people who have done these things. And I thought, even with Deborah Chow and the way she directed Mandalorian, and then you look at how she show ran and produced the Obi-Wan and you look at it's like there's got to be something from coming up from up high that is polluting the water.
Yeah,
And if that's John Watts, it happens the same thing. I don't know.
Yeah, if Scout's comes out and it's like another middling, yeah, I mean, how can you deny that it's the
Right.
people up top? You just can't.
Yeah, it just shows you how this is where people don't understand because they don't see it. How important it is. How people are, oh, what do executives and producers really do? It is so important to have good producers and good executive producers because if you look at something like the FX team making television, I mean, incredible. And the old man was part of that team. And you look at that first episode of what John Watts does, and we haven't seen Skeleton Crew. It could very well be fantastic, but if it isn't, you're like, okay, then we know that John Watts can do good television. We know that he can do good movies. What's happening over there if that's the case? But we haven't seen the show. We'll wait until November, I think it comes out, right? Yeah. Okay. All right. Darth Archie, I 100% agree on your Star Wars Filoni take. Amen. Hey, just got Apple TV. What's your first suggested watch? Love busting you all nards, but also love you guys on the show. Best part of my day. Peace. Thank you, Darth Archie. Right now I'm on dark matter kick. I'm going to say dark matter. I mean, I think John's probably going to tell you what's the freaking Lasso, Ted Lasso.
Yeah, Lasso's good. I would say Loot. I really love those first 2 seasons of Loot with Maya Rudolph. So I would recommend that one off of right now the Apple TV that I'm watching. But a lot of people say Presumed Innocent is excellent.
My wife watches it religiously, and I was upset with her because she started that show without me. and I walk in on it. I've seen bits and pieces of episodes that are deep into the season, so I already know what's happening. But yeah, it's a really good show from what I've seen.
Isn't it funny, Kristian? Like they can start shows without us, but if we start a show without them,
the cops will get called to the house.
World War III.
Yeah.
Not fair.
Yeah, not fair. Shay Markel. What's up, fellas? I'm here with Eamon Targaryen cape on. I don't care what Big Dog Rocha says. All hail the one true king. Love you guys. Happy Monday. That dude's a menace.
He is a menace.
Eamon is a menace. Yeah, menace, and he's a dangerous menace because he's not just like a Joffrey menace. He's a menace.
How you mess with your brother's wounds after you couldn't finish the job?
Yeah, oh man. Andre Armini. The problem with constant bad writing is that it hurts the brand slowly. That's very true. In the long term, so it's hard to notice from the shareholders' point of view. The Acolyte may have accelerated this process. That's hard to argue with. That's hard to argue with because it does taint the overall brand because when you start to, especially if someone, in the last like 5 years is growing up with this stuff, someone who started watching Mandalorian, what was that, 2019, right? So was that 5 years ago, whatever it was?
Yeah.
So if somebody who started watching that show was like 11 or 12 years old, is now 17.
Yeah.
And it's seen, like, fell in love with the Mandalorian. Then since then, I don't care. The Star Wars isn't very good. That's what they have to compare. That's their Star Wars now. Because there's not been a movie since 2019. And the movie was Rise of Skywalker. That was the last movie that they had out. So the brand right now I'm telling you, it's in 1989 Yankee shape at the moment. It really is. Beto Power. Slightly disagree on one thing about Kennedy. Star Wars being a money success. Maybe at the beginning it has a lot, but a lot has been lost since episode 8 and 9. No movie in 5 years. I don't think you're disagreeing. I think you're saying the same thing. When it comes to movies, she's made money, but she hasn't made money for the company since 2019. I mean, Indiana Jones ate a big pile of garbage. Yeah. The shows, I guess, Obi-Wan was, even though people don't love it, the show did very well in the ratings, was nominated for stuff, Andor was nominated for stuff. So that's success-wise. But if you're a movie producer, you should be judged off of the kind of box office you bring in. She hasn't brought in a hit since 2019. So she was making money when she was making the movies. Right. So it is going to be this is what I'm going to ask you, John.
Yeah.
So the Favreau movie, I feel Mandalorian and Grogu, I think is going to be a home run because
it has to go.
It's going to be a home run because they're going to market it off of Grogu and it's going to get kids in theaters. That's going to be a home run. So it's almost like what Guardians was. Guardians was like Guardians 3 from Marvel. You knew it was going to do well. It was closing up. It's that Rey movie. If that Rey movie comes out in December, if that Rey movie does not do well and it eats it, how does she still? Do you then start having the conversation that she's a better magician than David Blaine?
Yeah, I mean, if that movie comes out and eats it, then I don't know what case you can make, like overall, because she's a. I don't know. I don't know if she's a creative, right? And I think she's an executive and not necessarily a creative. And if that comes out and tanks or doesn't do well and is not well received, and I don't mean the angry Star Wars fans. I mean like the mainstream casual Star
Like what
Wars.
happened here?
Yeah.
Exactly,
If they don't
yeah.
come and see it, they don't put the numbers in, the reviews are mixed or middling, then we got ourselves some trouble, some real trouble at that point. Because then there's nothing she can fall back on. Like, oh, well, I made money on well, now you're not making money on the movies anymore. So, and I think that's, but I think she also is like, I think she reads the tea leaves. I think she wants to have one more hit before she goes. I don't think she wants to go.
But I think she's going to get it with that Favreau one, though. That's going to be the misleading thing. She's going to get it with that Favreau one.
Yeah, and maybe she goes before the Ray movie comes out or right after. I don't know.
Maybe. I mean, if I'm her, I'm going to try to do a Jordan move and say, look, at every Star Wars movie I've put out, they've all made $1 billion minus Solo. I'm walking off the court here, right? Because maybe that's what she was trying to do with Indiana Jones, and it ate so much trash.
Yeah,
I mean, as far as money wise, that movie bombed.
Yeah.
So maybe this is what she's trying to do. But if she sticks around and then waits for that Ray movie, I don't know. Matt B, have you guys watched Cobra Kai yet? Making us wait 4 months for the next part of the season feels like torture. Should have been aired week to week. Yeah, I think that's a Netflix thing, man. Netflix just does things this way. They want to have the shows a hit and they want to try to space it out more. I don't know. I should probably ask. I was talking to John Hurwitz and he's going to come on the show again. Nice. We're probably with Hayden and Josh also. And I'll ask them that question as far as why they decided to do it that way.
Yeah. Because it's 3 separate drops of 5 episodes each. It's such a weird approach.
I think it's 6, isn't it? Is it only 5?
What?
You said 5 episodes.
Yeah, but no, I'm saying it's
I thought it was 6 episodes.
15 episodes, isn't it?
Oh, maybe you might be right. I'm not sure.
I think it's 3 drops of 5 episodes each.
Oh, wow. Okay. Yeah. J.S. Hooper, this show is intended to destroy the legacy of the Jedi. Leslie openly admits that she resents them and wanted to deconstruct their image. I don't know why they're surprised by the backlash. I don't know if she said that. If you can post a link to that, that to me is, again, if that is said in the room, I go, nah, we don't want to do that.
Yeah,
we don't want to do that. Like if you wanted to have the Sith see that and the Sith kind of look upon that's the way that the Sith see it in their anger. Yeah. I don't like what they did to the Jedi, and I know there's a lot of people like well, but they've always been that kind of these troubled things, I like the idea of my heroes being heroes. I like the idea of it. I like I don't mind them being flawed, but it was they made him completely incompetent. They're all morons. The guy's taking poison and taking his life for some reason and has a receding hairline for some reason. And I know the whole thing just made no sense. And the Jedi Wookiee was you can go on and on and on.
Yeah. What she said was one aspect that I was very interested in exploring in the show was depending on the way you look at it, anyone can be the bad guy. And depending on the way you look at it, anyone can be the good guy. No one wakes up in the morning and thinks they're the villain. Everybody's doing what's best for them. So I liked exploring that. So that's about
the extent for it. She took a swing and I think she missed, but she took a swing.
Yeah.
Okay. So next one, Andre, back again, Andre Armini. Can you quote anything in the Acolyte that stands close to Nemec's manifesto, Luthen's speech, or Kino's speech in Andor? No, you can't. It's because as John was talking about, it's like, I think that there was, the writing wasn't strong in it, and they go off of this try to faster, strong, more intense that thing, and I don't think that they do that kind of layered writing that they did in Andor. So no, I can't do that. Can you?
No, right. There's nothing in there.
Okay. Simon Section saw Twisters, enjoyed it. What's up with future Superman and tornadoes? That's right. Yeah, because David Cornsweet's in this movie. Yeah. Kristian John, did you notice the cameo of Bill Paxton's son, the angry motel guy? I didn't realize now that you say that, but yeah, now that makes total sense. So that's I didn't realize that until you just told me. So you just let me know. Artem back again. OSHA leveled up from level 1 to 100 in like 2 days. Yeah, I guess she was using AG1 and Magic Spoon. As long as she used my code. If she used my code, they're going to use my code in season 2. Then fine, do season 2. Yeah, that was the other thing. It's like, I'm going to do a spoiler for people for Acolyte season finale. So you don't, so just come back in like 4 minutes if you haven't seen it.
Yeah.
But the idea, and this is what I said in some of the fact that she wanted to be trained by the stranger. She didn't want to be trained by.
No, didn't want
to. I don't want to be trained by you. And yet she learns how to force choke and force choke out a seasoned Jedi, right?
A
And
master.
so people kept writing in the comments, well, she was trained as a Jedi. This is not the first time she's been trained. I'm like, she wasn't trained in the Sith ways. And even if she was trained as a Padawan. She wasn't trained as someone who could force choke out a Jedi master just because you got pissed off.
Yeah.
It made no sense.
Just strip it all away. It's just a matter of like, she knew this guy for years.
Yes.
This guy was essentially her second, like her dad figure.
Right.
She would just like lose control and kill him without hearing why he killed her mother or what. It's just made no sense.
Made no sense. Christoph Seeberger. Ahsoka gets a second after 3 months, so have the time. Great show. Keep going. Yeah, but I think that the reason why I got it, that was also because the Filoni, Filoni's pulling his strings. So Filoni wants his show to go. And that show, to be fair to Ahsoka also, that show has to have a season 2 in order for Filoni's movie to make sense. You got to put that one out because all this stuff leads up, the Mandalorian and all that all leads up to Filoni's movie. So it's sorry, John, Twister's cameo. I owe you a favor. Yeah, it's not that big of a deal. It's not a big spoiler.
Yeah.
No.
I don't mind spoilers.
Yeah, it's not, that one's not bad. Talia Barless. Master Soul's end should have been his character on the run for being framed for death. Then him trying to prove the Sith are back, but no one believes it. Sure.
Yeah.
Sure. I think you could have come up with 1,000 different stories where we go, yeah.
Carlton.
Kristian, have you ever thought of live streaming the Monday show on Spotify at the same time as YouTube? Same for John, perhaps with a hot mic. I didn't know you could live stream on Spotify.
Yeah, YouTube gets real pissy if you live stream to other platforms. So I don't know if you can do that.
Yeah, I don't know. No, I haven't thought about it, but I know that I'm actually you can comment on Spotify video now too, which is great.
That's cool.
Pete Parker, 2288. I've never hear another discussion about the Acolyte. It'll be too soon. Kristian, kids been to Coney Island yet? Are all the rides delayed? No, I feel like didn't Coney Islands go down the dumps a little bit? I haven't been in a long time, but no, they haven't been there. But I think this will be the last Acolyte discussion for a while, Pete. So you don't have to worry about that. And until they say it's either gonna come back or not come back. Yeah. Okay, let's see. As we are moving down, we got Roberto. Rebel Moon director cut trailer drop. Thoughts? We haven't seen it yet, Roberto. So we're definitely gonna check that out. I know, John, are you gonna do a reaction to it?
No, I mean I got too many videos today already. Okay. So yeah, with the House of the Dragon and other things coming. Yeah.
Al Rencha, if different showrunners and new writers, then yes to Acolyte season 2. That's definitely not going to happen. Like John, I think a lot of fault can be laid on Filoni. He and Kathleen need to go as well. I got to tell you, I think that whether it's it's so funny because you go back and I used to love what I wanted Filoni to direct stuff. I wanted him to do stuff. I wanted him to do all that stuff. But like, his influence is real. I think has hurt Star Wars more than it's helped it.
Yeah.
Chris Krause. Prince Street Pizza is still top tier. I haven't been since I've been back, but yes, I could imagine that it is. Of course it is. And John, why is political news wasn't so slow? I don't know. Wait, Prince Street?
I think he's making a joke.
Oh, why is it been so quiet this past week? We're gonna a pillow for no reason.
If people want to, I did a thing on the Biden situation yesterday. If people want to watch that on my channel, but
what happened with Biden?
Yeah.
Jim 1. Kathleen Kennedy can no longer justify the money episodes 7 and 9 to keep her job. Yeah. Indy 5 lost 140. Yeah. I think it lost more than that, to be honest with you. While Willow and Acolyte had poor viewership despite huge budgets. I mean, that is what I was saying before. It's like you used to be able to, when movies were coming out, and even if they weren't good, you could hang your hat on the fact, but look, she's done 5 movies and 4 of them made $1 billion. It's hard to make that call. You can't lay your hat on that every single time.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah. Matt B. Marvel should get Lee Isaac Chung for Spider-Man 4 and cast Stephen Yeun as Mr. Negative. I don't know enough about the characters. Do you know enough about them?
It could be a fascinating decision. I like Lee Isaac Chung, so why not? Yeah.
Okay. Lee Isaac Chung just did Twisters, right?
Yeah.
I thought he did a great job with it.
Yeah.
He did a great job with it. Tiberius Monk. This is D&W spoilers. Which is D&W? D&W spoilers. Deadpool and Wolverine spoilers will be coming, including YouTube feeds on homecoming page, including spoilers in the video title. Avoid social media as much as possible, but watch Big Thing because they're cool. Yeah, we try not to. I was very proud of that the other day. Someone said that thank you for not, because I did a trailer reaction to Deadpool. I don't put spoilers in the thumbnails.
Yeah, no.
And people get pissed, man, and rightfully so. So I got someone told me, thanks for not putting spoilers in the thumbnail. And I don't do that. Kick it to the King Productions. We need a hard reset at Lucasfilm with a new head. Get away from Skywalker era and full-on Old Republic for movies and shows. The cinematic scenes for Old Republic pale in comparison to Acolyte. I know. Look, it's the same. I feel like we're all kind of broken records, and that's the thing is that I don't see a lot of hateful people in here, John. People
no,
that are screaming about it. It's just people who are just kind of fed up with the fact that their team's in last place.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. Hunter Vance. Obi-Wan killed my interest in shows as episode 8 did for the movies. I haven't bothered to watch Acolyte or Ahsoka. I want to come back, but the competition is stiff and they don't seem to care. I think he sums it up. My brother is such a big Star Wars fan, John, and he said, I talked to him. I said, have you watched Acolyte? He said, I won't. He said, I won't watch it.
Wow.
And I said, how come? He goes, because of everything I've seen already. He's like, I don't want to give them even a view if I'm not liking it. I don't want to give them the rating because they're going to keep making stuff like this.
Yeah, if I support it by watching it.
Yeah, he said, I feel like if I stop watching it, other people just stop watching it. Maybe they'll go back and actually pay attention. He's like, because they don't seem like they're paying attention to it.
This is like the secret invasion of Star Wars.
Yeah.
Kind of.
Matt Sister McCall, favorite theater popcorn and favorite candy for movie going. Well, I haven't been eating it as much because I'm trying to eat better. But when I was pretzels and cheese, my favorite. I love those little pretzel bites.
Yeah, I do now. When I go to any of the screenings at AMC Mission Valley, there's a Wetzel's right outside the theater.
Oh, those are
so I get the pretzel bites and sneak it in a black bag so they don't ask me questions.
It's really good. Roman Fedorak. Hey, Kristian, did you watch Dan Murrell's video on what he would do if he ran Lucasfilm that came out a while back? If so, what are your thoughts? Thanks and keep doing you. I didn't get a chance to see it, but I spoke to Dan when I think it was maybe it was like a week after he did it. We did our live show together, but I can only imagine because Dan's like, Dan is the most analytical and breaks down things really, really well. So I'm sure it was a wonderful video, but I mean, and I'd love to actually hear some of the things that he would do. I think there's a lot of different ideas and I'm curious to what he would do, but I didn't get a chance to see it. No. Did you see it, John?
Which one is it?
It was the one if he ran Lucasfilm.
No, I did not see it,
okay.
But I will. And Dan does a great job with those. The Marvel one was really fun, so I'll definitely watch the Lucas.
We got to do our annual thing that we do every year.
Oh, is it getting? Oh my God,
the three of us. So I mean, we got another 5 months or so before we still got to do it. Yeah,
start catching up.
Yeah. Pete Parker. I remember when Ellis said Alien Covenant was the worst of his year. I enjoyed that movie. Can we take a second to discuss how awful Resurrection was? Which one is that?
Alien Resurrection?
Yeah. I don't even remember which one that was. Is that the adventure one?
Is that the third one or the fourth?
Is it the third one? I don't remember.
Alien 3 is the third one. They don't add anything to that one.
Yeah, no, I'm not sure. I'm not. It's fun.
Oh, yeah,
massive. It was the fourth. I'm not like a master. That one was. Is that the Winona Ryder one?
That was Winona Ryder, the French Jean-Pierre Jeunet directed.
That's a bad movie. Max Cohen. My problem with current Star Wars is that if they did Star Wars 77, it would have ended at the most Isley escape with the amount of flashback story. Well, I think John was the one who was right about this. There was no flashbacks in Acolyte. There was no flashbacks. There were stories that took place, in different period of time beforehand. In the same way that would you call House of the Dragon a flashback of Game of Thrones? It's not a flashback. Flashback is like that scene in Last Jedi when Luke's thinking about how Kylo and him had that thing.
Right.
That's a flashback. But I don't know, man. Who knows? Who knows what they would have done with the story today? The story would not be what it was if they brought the same story of the episode 4. It would not look like it did today.
Yeah, it's also because we're not who we were back then.
Right.
It's a different time.
Right.
He was serving a different master. Lucas was back then.
That's right. Wayne Edwards, happy Monday, gents. John, have you started Dark Matter yet?
No.
Come on. Kristian say how great it has got me to watch. He was right. Dark Matter is awesome. It kept me engaged from beginning to end. It's definitely one of my favorite shows of the year. So
yeah, I gotta jump on it.
It's so good. It really, really is. God, I love that show. And let's see. Next one, Shay Markel. Dude, that wide shot is awesome. Nice photo of the Lisa and Al-Ghib in the right corner. Shout out to Brett. I'm sure you helped out. You are wrong. I didn't help. No, I did help out. But not as much as Brett was. Yeah, that wide shot. Let's see, where is it? Do that again. You can see it. That's the wide shot. And I got the old school kind of the old Carlin in there and everything too. House of the Dragon. This is Haskell. Next week needs to be titled Acknowledge Me. For real. Goose the Loose. What are the odds that Filoni is jealous of Tony's Gilroy acclaim with Andor and is doubling down on the kiddie elements of Star Wars? I'm gonna say that it's so funny that people are like, see, he talked about Gilroy's thing, he loved it. I will go to my grave saying that Dave Filoni is not a fan of the way that Gilroy approached Star Wars. I will go to my grave saying it. but I don't think that means like he's going to double down on just the kiddie elements, but I think it more so he's going to double down on the way that he sees Star Wars.
Yeah, I think either I said it or you said it last week. I can't remember, but the double-edged sword thing. Like Andor is the greatest thing they've made, but it's also everything that every TV series is now being compared to with Star Wars, and it's messed them up. It's messed them up, because Mandalorian was good. It wasn't, in my opinion, it wasn't Andor good. That's Andor's like House of the Dragon, Game of Thrones type of approach, Shogun type of approach. Mandalorian, not quite so much. And so I think they could get away with coming close to Mandalorian. The fact that they can't even come close to Andor is killing them.
Well, this is why season 2 of Andor is going to be all eyes on it.
Yeah.
In so many different levels, because if it'll almost be neglectful if it does even better in the ratings and as well loved, and they don't start doing stuff like that. Because I swear, John, and I feel like I'm living in a freaking my own, I'm making this up. But when I went to Star Wars Celebration, it was 2021 or whatever it was.
Yeah.
And I remember, I want to see if anybody actually has it on film. Tony Gilroy was like, "Yeah, we're doing 3 seasons of this, and that, and what's his name?" And Diego Luna was like, 3? I only signed on for 2. And he's like, we want to do 3." And then what I heard is that it was like, no, keep it at 2 from the high ups. Keep it at 2. This is your thing, but we're going to keep it at 2 and lead into Rogue One. And I wouldn't be surprised if Filoni was part of that. That's all I'm saying. Yeah. Nick, who was making the decisions at Disney Plus to insist on 30-minute episodes? Also true. Yeah. Also, then that goes back to the reason why, because I mean, Andor, I don't think was 30 minutes. For the most part, was like 45, 50. They even do it on Marvel shows, and it ruins pacing. I couldn't agree more, Nick. I totally agree. In my opinion, a lot of Acolyte's problems could have been fixed by providing more context, because what you'll get on a pushback of that, look at a show like The Bear, that's 30 minutes. Bear is not going to give you a 7 or 8 minute action piece that takes away from your opportunity to tell more story.
They don't have a mythology they have to adhere to.
Yeah, but like if you're doing House of the Dragon, you're going to wind up getting into a big battle scene. So in order to have that battle scene plus still develop character, you got to do an hour-long episodes.
Mm-hmm.
And when you're doing 30-minute dramas, you can do 30 minutes. But when you're doing an hour, when you're doing that much, like that whole episode, was it 5? The lightsaber fights inside the woods or whatever. That's the whole episode. There was hardly anything in there to have any meat in it. So I'm with you on that one. That was that's a major problem that they keep running into.
Yep.
Francisco, hey guys, Rocha, any news on the return of Strong Style? I really miss your wrestling show.
Yeah, it is coming back before SummerSlam. We have a new name. It will no longer be Strong Style. So if you follow us on social media, we put the RIP on it. We will announce the name soon, but it is coming back before SummerSlam. So get ready for that. We're in negotiations this week to lock down a day. So
can I tell you, because I'm your friend, can I be honest with you?
Yeah.
I think that's a very smart move.
You're the reason we're changing it.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, because Kristian told me months ago, he's like, Strong Style's a fine name, but I don't know what it means. And if I'm a wrestling guy, casual wrestling guy, and I don't know what it means, and doesn't get me in, know that it's pro wrestling, then that's not the smart move. And so, so we changed it. And everyone else agreed with it, by the way. Everyone else, no one was like, oh,
I like it's a cool name. I just didn't like when I see it, I just don't know it's a wrestling show.
It's very inside baseball.
Yeah.
And we need to be outside baseball a little bit. So
Derek Johnson, I watched season 2 of Acolyte. If someone can tell me how they blamed all the deaths on Saul when they had the hollow video of May killing Indara.
Yeah.
You had showed to May in episode 1. Hey, John, figured I'd check this show out too. Yeah, man. Derek, I'm with, it's like all that stuff. That's what I mean. It's like, there's so many excuses for like how the writing, that's liking it is one thing.
Yes.
How can anyone defend the writing on this show? Right. I don't understand that, because everything he just broke down there, it's like, they have video of it.
Right. And all the Jedi Masters, all of the Senate, no one's going to investigate this. It just doesn't make any sense. No. Like, it doesn't make any sense
at all. Malik Tarrant, don't want nothing crazy, just seeing how you're doing. Thank you. Listen to the new Childish Gambino album. I didn't realize he had a new one out. I thought he stopped making it for a bit.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay. That's cool. Renee Reyes, Kristian and Rocha, what are your predictions on how House of the Dragon season 2 will end? I don't really want to do a big prediction on that, Renee, only because I don't want to spoil it for people if they haven't really seen the whole thing. But I think that it's gonna. All I'll say is this, and this is not anything. I think Team Black's going to come out on top by the end of season 2, but it's not the end of the series, obviously. But I think by the end of season 2, they'll come in on top. And do you agree with that, John?
I can't say anything because I've read the.
Oh, you know.
Yeah, I've read some of the books, so I know where some stuff might go. So I'm just going to leave it be. I just hope they get it right.
Me
And
too.
I think they will. That's my
So far, so good. Kiana Mundi. Thank you so much. Very kind of you to put that in there, sir. I appreciate that. King's Port Cal. I've lost all interest in Star Wars. They started out with Force Awakens, and they milked the hell out of it until I didn't care. Reminds me of Marvel. I think Marvel has a chance to get you back, and I think that they're trying to, and they're paying attention to it. I think Star Wars has lost that, but that's what John was talking about before. John was with it just doesn't seem like they're paying attention to it. Yeah. Ewok. You're on a desert island. You can take with you only one franchise universe, past, present, and future. What would it be? Marvel, DC, Game of Thrones / House of Dragons, Star Wars. Oh man. Past, present, future. I mean, 10 years ago, you know my answer, right? If it's today, right now, with the people in place, there's no world that Star Wars gets my vote on that one.
I take Marvel every time.
The only reason I would take Game of Thrones House of the Dragon is because I don't have to leave my house. You know what I mean? Like I could watch it. I mean, I guess you're on a desert island. One universe. I can take it and I can watch it. I love watching it on TV anyway. So that's
probably Kristian. He won't come out of his hut. He won't come out of his hut on the island.
But I think Marvel, because they have so much potential in what they can do. I mean, but we'll see what happens with DC. We'll see.
Oh yeah.
Darius White, thank you, Darius. The Acolyte was too nihilistic to be Star Wars. Tragedy was played up as triumphant, horrible moral messaging. I totally agree. Like the end when they're trying to get you to root for the bad guys. It's like you're not doing it in the way the Sopranos did it. You're not doing it in the way. He did kill Yord and Jecki, right? He did kill Yord and Jecki. And it's not just about, they showed up. They could have even the twins. These are good people. But even the twins, when the twins are like, you're like, why am I rooting for them now? They're this melodramatic music. We're like, oh, don't you care about them? No, I want them to go to jail and rot. I hate them. Also, wasn't Plagueis a Mune banking exec? No, he was. The Munes are in general were banking execs, and he was part of. I think he was part of it. What was he doing in a cave on Smilo Island, taking vacation day? No season 2. Well, I mean that. Why he's there, who knows? But it was just so weird. Like, if they're flying out, why is he peeking around a mountain? Yeah, it's so weird. Just because they were like, oh, watch, audience never going to see this coming. Simon Section. I never understood the backlash of hearing modern day music regarding the Gladiator 2 trailer. I hated it. I guess no one remembers the Super Bowl TV trailer spot for the first Gladiator trailer where you can hear Kid Rock's. Yeah, look, but here's the thing. Here's the difference. Is that's a TV spot in the middle of the Super Bowl. This is the first trailer you're putting out there. It sucked me out of the trailer. It sucked me out of it. And I loved that trailer.
I loved it. I like that Jay-Z Kanye West album. So I like that usage. So
here's something though, John, that I never thought I'd hear myself say. I was listening to music the other day and I'm listening to random songs and I never thought I'd hear myself say the following words.
Okay.
I popped up and this music pops on. I go, oh no, is this Puff Daddy? I got to change it. And I go, oh my God, thank God it's Kanye. Never thought I'd hear myself say that. All right, here we go. So Nick Alexander, they should make Plagueis season 1 based off the book. Yes. Include some characters that worked in the Acolyte. Yes, do that. Say, look, we saw how many people were losing their minds that Plagueis was coming. We decided to adapt James Luceno's book.
I just don't trust anybody there to do it right. I don't anymore.
Well, but you get somebody like a Gilroy, do something like that.
Let anybody like Gilroy back through the doors. You know that.
I know. Jesus Fernandez, if they end up adapting a Plagueis story, do you think they should keep the Darth Tenebra species, or is it too funny looking? For context, he's the same as the Cantina Band. Thanks for the show. No, if you do it the right way, and you don't like over CGI it, and you make it kind of menacing, you could absolutely do it. But it's, as John just said, it depends on who you get to do it. Can you get the right person to do it? Mellow Masher, have you seen The Boys? John, do you think they will adapt the end of the comic without spoiling anything?
I don't know. We finished watching The Boys. My reaction videos will be up for it. It's probably later today.
The season.
I like the season. I think, but I do think the fact that it wasn't subtle ended up catching up with it by the end. I liked it initially, but then it became like, okay, we get what you're trying to do. Can we have a little subtlety come back into what's happening here? So for leading into next season, I thought it was fine, but it wasn't the best season for sure.
Okay. Daniel Almatraz. Acolyte was so bad that Ken Knapsack looked like he just saw The Last Jedi.
He just saw The Last Jedi.
He liked The Last Jedi though. Ken loves The Last Jedi. I'm not sure about that one, and I think Ken liked Acolyte also. I haven't talked to him about it, but I think he did. Path 090. The Acolyte is the final straw for me, minus Andor season 2. My buddy said I wasn't the first to tell him. Essentially, clear canon can change whenever. Also, he was driven mad by Basil's actions. That rat was annoying as hell.
Yeah, I do want to say two things. Like, one, I shouldn't have to read interviews with Leslie Headland after the show to understand the motives of the characters in the show.
Right.
Right. She spent all this time talking about Basil after that finale. And it's like, why was none of that in the show? Why are you telling me all this stuff, but none of it is in the show? Yeah. I don't need to read this material. I shouldn't have to, rather
show me,
understand what is happening in the show.
Yeah. Artem, Jude Law dies in the first 7 minutes. I'll be out. Because I thought that was such false advertising. I thought it was such false advertising. It was like they tried to do like a freaking Drew Barrymore Scream thing, but she's not marketed in it the way that Carrie Ann Moss was. Anyway,
she did nothing on the show.
Anyway, all right, John, we did it.
Yeah.
Thank you to everybody who joined us here today. Very, very kind of you. Really, really appreciate it. John, where can they find you? What you got going on today?
As I said, you can find me at the Rocha Says on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. In about 8 minutes, we will drop our Geek Buddies review of House of the Dragon, episode 6, season 2 from last night. My reactions to episode 7 and 8 of The Boys will be out later on this afternoon. And then tonight, of course, my reaction to Deadpool and Wolverine will be out there around 10:30, 11 probably by the time the film comes out. You can find it there. But come and follow me on my channel, youtube.com/John Rocha Says. Subscribe there for all the great content. Jedi Way, Geek Buddies, Hot Mic, all of that, Spill the Tequila, and all my stuff hanging down. And at the Rocha Says on Twitter and Instagram. Thanks, Kristian. Happy Monday to everybody. See you guys.
Thanks, John. We'll see you next week. But so again, follow John. Make sure he's doing great stuff over there. So, all right, thank you guys for being here again. Now we're on Apple Podcasts, we're on Spotify, and we have a clips channel that I hope if you see in the description, it's literally the first thing you see. It's like the clips channel. Please subscribe to that because I'm going to start putting like interview clips. I had Robert Eiler from The Sopranos on there. Any of my interviews that I do, I'm going to put clips out on that channel, but I'm going to try to start clipping out the news stories and things too when I can get to it. I'm only a one-man band, so I'm going to try to clip out as many stories as I can over there, but it's going to be an active channel. So I hope you guys, we're right now at like 110 subscribers. We just started it. So we're trying to get to 1,000 subscribers over there. So if you want to go and check it out, please do it. And then, I got my out of the theater reaction for Deadpool and Wolverine tonight. I'll have a non-spoiler review of that. I got the Joker 2 trailer tomorrow. I got a bunch of interviews coming up. So thanks for joining us, guys. I appreciate it. So that's it. We'll see you guys really, really soon. And at the end of it, you guys are you. I'm me. Bye-bye.